You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
All right, so we're going to start lying down on our backs. And if you have a bolster handy, you can use that in butterfly position, either to support the knees or to support the feet. So you choose your option. I've just finished a yin class, so I feel quite open. So I'm just going to rest my feet there and let the knees just rest out to the sides, and just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Make sure that you're nicely in alignment through the pelvis and the spine, and the arms can come out to the sides or above the head, wherever they feel most comfortable. I want you to be completely comfortable here for the next 4 or 5 minutes. Close the eyes and just find a steady breath. Breathing out, letting go of tightness, tension that may have been built up throughout the day. Whatever has brought you to your mat this evening, just let those thoughts and those distractions go. And be present with you. This is your time. And this will be a bit of a full moon practice today. It is a full moon in Virgo. And if you managed to get to see the moon yesterday, it was absolutely stunning, but hopefully equally as stunning tonight if you have a clear sky. So a bit of sacral, bit of legs, bit of lower back practice, a bit more feminine. Introducing the water element. So just allow yourself now to soften everything. Clear the mind. Soften the body into the mat. Soften your breath. Equal inhale to equal exhale. Just taking note of where that breath travels to without thinking about it. Just observe. And maybe you would like to invite your own intention for practice today. The full moon in Virgo is almost a reality check, and being honest with yourself about where you are at the moment in your life and what goals, you're striving and driving towards. So maybe your intention is revolving something around that. Being honest with where you are at. Taking a few more breaths here. Just wiggle the fingers. Bring some movement back into the wrists. Breathe in, lift the arms up above the head, interlace the fingers and just press the palms back. Big, big stretch from the shoulders up towards the wrists. Then as you bring the arms forward, you flip the palms and then lift the head to look along the body, curling through the upper back. Push the knuckles away from you. So scooping through the belly, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And then you can release the shoulders, release the head, lift the arms to the legs, and then lift the legs together. Place the soles of the feet on the wider edges of your bolster as the knees drop in towards one another, and just rest the pelvis And allow the inner thighs and the hips to recover from sitting in that reclined butterfly. So pushing the bolster all the way along the mat, making sure you have enough room for your legs to stretch out, pointing the feet, stretching the tops of the arches, lifting the arms up, and then stretch the body. Really long, tall line. And then sweep the arms around, take the knees in towards the chest and just roll and massage out a little bit through the spine, circle through the hips, opening the knees if that feels good. Circling there, just getting into the hip joint. Bit of hip work today, obviously. And taking the legs straight up to the sky. Hands come down by the side of the body. So the heels are in line with the hips. Try not to think of the heels coming forward so that you're stretching through the back of the legs. And if they're too far away from you because you can't keep them up straight, bend softly into the back of the knee. So dropping the weight of the pelvis, weight of the lower back into the mat, and just keep the head firmly planted on the back of the skull with the neck long. Then draw the toes towards the shins, flexing the feet as if you're doing acro yoga and you're resting somebody on the soles of your feet. Feel the calves, the knees, and the hamstrings stretching. And then just press the feet up, pointing. Again, notice what happens to the back of the legs. Drawing the toes towards you, flexing through the ankles. Then pressing through the balls of the feet to point. Draw the toes back once more. Draw the toes towards the shins. Press the heel up. And then point and circle. So you might widen the feet a little bit to draw big circles with the toes. Mobilizing through the ankles. Feel the weight of your pelvis still connecting in towards the mat, and then bend the knees in towards you. Roll over to one side, gently press yourself up. And just come into a butterfly pose. So taking a nice comfortable seat here, butterfly, we're just going to introduce Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing for 10 rounds or 10 cycles. So using the right hand, either the fingers can come to the third eye or you can place them down onto the thumb. Breathing in and out through both. Closing the right nostril off with the thumb. Inhaling through the left. Slight pause, close off the left, open the right, exhale. Breathe in right. Close off, slight pause, open left, exhale. That's one round. Let's repeat 9 at your own pace. I will be quiet. Once you've completed your rounds, you can release hands down, just breathing normally, just noticing those effects. Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, just balances out left, right hemispheres of the brain. Purifying, cleansing breath, lifting the knees together. Give the knees a little press either side with the palms. Relaxing belly over the thighs. Let the head release down to the knees. Feel the spine start to stretch in the flexion here. And then rolling up, coming back up into our butterfly pose. So a little bit of a change to our lunar salutations today. So they're going to be seated and kneeling. So if you are on a hard surface, you may just need to pad out the knees a little bit or have a double mat, but hopefully not too painful. Lifting up both arms, stretching up to the sky, releasing left arm down and crescent over to the side. Roll the ribcage open, look underneath the elbow, and then bring yourself back up into center. Take it over to the other side, dropping the arm, lifting up, side stretch, and then rolling the ribcage to look underneath the elbow. Bring yourself back up into center. Lift the knees together. And then take the legs wide. So, nice wide leg. Starting to walk the hands forward. Exhaling. Taking a breath in. Breath out. Dropping a little bit more. Breath in. Breath out. Dropping a little bit more. Start to walk the hands back. As the shoulders come back up in line, lift the knees and just swing the legs around behind you. Come into tabletop, tuck the toes and push yourself back into a ragdoll or a forward fold. So make sure that the feet come either together or parallel, lifting up the heels, lifting up the toes, making sure the weight's equal. Lengthen the spine and get the belly and the chest all the way down over the thighs as you release the head. Taking hold of the elbows, swaying from side to side if that feels good, and letting the head release as you start to straighten through the back of the leg. So we're just warming up. Release the hands down. And then slowly open up the feet into Malasana. So widening the knees, bringing the arms in towards the chest. Lengthening the spine here. Breathing out. And releasing the hands forward. And you can kind of widen the knees a little bit more as you stretch the fingers, stretching the spine. Drop the head between the biceps. Drop the hips a bit more. And then from here, you're just going to put the palms down, rock the knees forward, turn the toes, and then bring the right foot forward. So opening up into your half splits, lengthen the spine. If you've got blocks, you can have those by the side of you, drawing the toes up towards the shin. Lengthen the spine on the inhale, exhale, fold forward. Lengthen a little bit more on your inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Last time, lengthen on the inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Bend that front knee if you need to. Few breaths here. Rocking forward, you're going to place the foot down. You're going to come into a low lunge. So this is where you might need to pad out that back knee. Again, having those blocks by the side of you if you need. And you can release the hands from the mat, or you can stay in this low lunge. Maybe you like to bring the arms up. Find a low lunge, sinking the hips forward. From here, we're going to transition into a kneeling warrior two. So the back leg turns into a kickstand position. So you can either have the toe tucked or the sole of the foot down. You're going to sink the hips forward to the front heel, raising the arms up, drawing the abdomen in, kneeling, warrior two. Let's go into a reverse warrior. So we reach back towards the back leg and lift the arm and then sink the hips forward, deeper, deeper, deeper. So you're in that side stretch. Sink the hips. Bring yourself back through warrior. Hand comes down to the mat, maybe onto a block. And then you come into that side angle and lifting the arm up and over the head if it feels good. A little bit of a transition here. So be careful of that back leg. We're going to go back into half moon. So again, you can have the block underneath your back hand and then you lift the leg and you lift the arm at the same time. Leg can stay down. Good. Keep pushing that foot away and then nice and slowly release. And then little transition again here. We're going to come into side squat. So the back leg comes out and then turns inwards. So you just got to make sure of your transitions of your feet. So side squat here, transitioning over. Foot might be flexed, pointing forward, pointing out to the side, whatever feels good. Stay low, transition back. And then transition back. And this is where you transition with that back knee. So nice and steady, bring it down. Kickstand it. We're going to go into the half moon. So arm comes down, leg and arm raise. Then you release. Arm comes down to the foot. Side angle. So we're just moving through a standing flow, but kneeling. We come into reverse from here. So hand comes down to the back calf, sinking the hips, lifting up the top arm. Gaze might go to the fingers. Then you come into that warrior two, leveling off the arms with the shoulders, sinking hips towards the front heel. Lovely. It's okay. You might be facing the other way. That's okay. We'll come back around. And then come into the lunge. So the hands come down. We turn the knee nice and carefully into that low lunge, Anjanasana. Maybe you lift the arms up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Lifting chest, dropping hips. We're going to come into that half splits. So hands come down. You pull yourself back, drawing up the front toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over the left leg, letting the head release to the shins. Twice more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Few breaths. Nice and slowly, we're going to transition into Malasana. So hands come down on the inside. You're going to bring that left leg back to the outer edges. You're going to lift the right. And the hands are already there for your spinal stretch. Softening the hips down. Remember, this is deep sacral, hip, legs, lower back practice. And then lengthening the spine, bringing the hands in towards the chest, coming back into Malasana, finding the stability and balance. Good. Coming into that ragdoll or forward fold, releasing fingertips, lifting hips, heel toe, feet in. Lengthen spine, exhale, belly, chest to thighs. Maybe you take hold of the elbows, relax the head and the neck. Lifting sit bones, lifting sacrum. And then release the hands, release the knees. This is where we come into that transition of wide-legged forward fold. You just slide the legs out. You might face the front or the side, whichever. And then exhale, slide forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, press the chest down a little bit more. Last time, inhale, lengthen the spine. Try not to let the toes roll inwards. Keep them nice and out. Exhale, release. Hold for a few breaths. Deep and slow and stretchy. Starting to walk the hands back. You're rolling up the spine, bringing the shoulders, excuse me, back in line. And then lift the knees, bring them into butterfly. Lift the arms on your inhale. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. And hands come down. How's that feel? Good. Let's go to the other side. Good, good. Inhale. Arms raise. Exhale. Over to the right. So slow, deep and stretchy. I want you to keep moving through everything. We know where we're going. Okay, I'll tell you. Bring the arms up. Lift the knees. And slide the feet out, wide legs. So again, you can flex the toes, point the toes, keep the legs relaxed. Slide forward, nice flat back. Try to open the thighs. You're going to roll the thighs back. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the chest. Exhale, fold and deepen. Twice more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Last time, inhale. And then reach the fingers. Exhale. Head comes down. Take a few breaths. Starting to walk the hands back. Roll up through the spine, bringing the shoulders back up in line. Lift the knees. This is where we transition into that fold. So we sweep the legs back behind us. We come up into a tabletop, tuck the toes and start to come towards the back of the mat. Releasing the heels, releasing the toes, exhaling, folding. Relax the head, take hold of the elbows if you wish, and then start to lengthen the sit bones up towards the sky. Maybe the hamstrings are starting to loosen up now and you might get deeper into that fold. Belly, chest to thighs, head relaxes towards the mat. You're going to bend the knees, widen the feet out, heel toe to malasana, dropping hips towards the mat between the heels, hands come into the heart center. Feel open through the chest, long through the spine, relax through the hips. Walk the fingertips forward. Knees go a little bit wider. Drop the hips a little bit deeper. And then transitioning, you're going to bring the hands forward. So bring the knees forward, turn on the toes. And the right leg goes back behind you and the left leg comes forward. So your back leg on the back side of your mat. Inhale, lengthen, use the blocks if you need. Exhale, fold over that left leg. Keep drawing those toes up towards the shins. Inhale, lengthen, press into the back foot. Third time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Few breaths here in your half splits. We're going to transition into that low lunge. So you're going to shift the weight forward, bending through the front knee, dropping hips, choosing to stay nice and low here, or you can sweep the arms up into that low lunge. Slow, steady stretching. From here, we kickstand the back leg. So you're going to turn onto the back knee, either tucking that back toe if it feels more comfortable, or relaxing onto the tops of the feet. Warrior two, sinking the hips forward towards the front heel, relaxing the shoulders. Come into your reverse warrior. Maybe you take a bind here, and you can take the hand to the front thigh, sinking hips, reaching top arm back. Side angle pose. Left hand comes in left foot, reaching arm up. From here, we're going to transition into that half moon. So the back hand comes down to the mat. Be careful of that underneath knee. It's parallel underneath the hip, lifting up, leg and arm together. Good. Reach the foot away, reach with the leg, lovely. And then transition, release the foot. You're going to come into these side squats. So left leg bends and opens. Right leg brings forward, nice and level. Surfer style, slide across. Slide back. And then slide back to the other way. So we do all of that in reverse. Hands come down. You lower the back knee. And then hand comes down into that half moon. Release. Oop. Running out of space. Into your side angle. Into your reverse warrior with the bind. Into your warrior. Transition safely with the back knee. Hands come down, support yourself into the low lunge. Sink the hips, maybe lifting the arms. Transitioning into the half splits, hands come down, pull the hips back, draw the toes up. Inhale, lengthen, nice flat back, chest folds, chin comes down to shin. Inhale, lengthen. Keep pressing into that front heel. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, few breaths. This is where we transition into the Malasana. So feet are wide, hands are already out in front of you. Lengthen the spine, drop the hips down. Then bring the hands back into the heart center. Oh, that's deep and stretchy. And then into the fold, releasing the hands, lifting the hips, heel toe the feet to parallel. Maybe together, maybe separate. Inhale, lengthen the spine to get the space. Belly, chest down. And then rocking forward, down onto the knees. You slide sideways onto the hips. Open the legs into your wide leg forward fold. Oh, slide out. Inhale, lengthen. Remember those 3 little lifts and folds. Hopefully the repetition gets the deeper stretch. And exhaling, holding for a few breaths. Slowly pull back, shoulders up above the hips, hands come out to the side, lift the legs together, back into butterfly, soles of the feet together. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, doesn't matter which way you go for your crescent bend, just keep that back hip grounded. And then bring yourself up, exhale over to the other side. Bring yourself back. And then lift the knees together. Give yourself that big hug. Exhale. Slowly roll up. And then extend the right leg out to the side. Bring the left leg in. And just release that knee down. Release the hips. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle. And you can use a block here on either side of the leg to rest the elbow. So you're going to turn the body, chest to the front of your mat, resting the arm down, lifting the arm up over the head, and then reaching over. So you're rolling the rib cage open. So you can almost take the hand onto the rib cage and start pulling it back. Imagine I would be doing that if we were together face to face. So you can reach the arms over and close the eyes and almost visualize that you're gazing up to this full moon underneath the elbow. If you feel that you don't need that block anymore, and then you can relax the hand down without compromising the roll of the rib cage forward. So if you might be able to bring the hand onto the leg, stretch, 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 and then release the hand. This time we're going to sweep the arm all the way around, drawing a big, big circle, like a big moon, lifting hips, pushing hips forward, opening the chest to the sky. Stay there. Push, push, push hips forward. Open the arm, open the chest, and then the circle continues as you release the hips down. Changing sides. Swapping the block. Lifting up, making sure that you're equal. Draw the chest forward, slide the arm out, inhale the arm up. Exhale, roll the rib cage open so you can look underneath the elbow. Draw the abdomen in. And then again, if you feel that you need to, you can rest the arm down onto the leg or onto the mat. Nice and slowly bring yourself back up. This time, other hand circles all the way round, pushing the hips forward, opening the chest up towards the sky. Stay for a few breaths. Push pelvis forward. And then as you continue that circle, the hips release. So coming back to the side of linear to your mat, so front of the mat, getting your block, placing the block between the knees, sitting into teepee twist. So lifting up and reaching back. You might bend the elbow here, but again, you're opening up the chest, keeping the pelvis nice and stable. So you can bend the elbow, reach, reach, reach. Bring yourself back. Second side, reach, reach, reach. Bend the elbow. And bring yourself back. This time, teepee twist, elbow to knee. Open the chest to the side. So the block helps with the stability of the pelvis, so not bringing one knee forward. Because if I take that block away, what tends to happen is that knee kind of shunts forward as I want to get deeper into my twist. So this way it just helps us stabilize. Breathing in, come to center, take the elbow to the knee, open the chest to the side. Deep breaths. Nice and slowly bring yourself back into center. Take the block away. Leg goes out in front of you, this time for head to knee pose. Press that knee down. Just give it a little press. See what you feel in the outer hip, inner groin. Square the chest off to the front leg. Inhale the arms up. And then exhale, nice flat back. Reach past the toes. Maybe you use a strap here. Notice if that knee starts to lift up or if you can keep that knee reaching down. Try to draw the left shoulder downwards towards the mat. Maybe you take hold of the foot using a strap. Try to draw the right buttock down. Lots going on even in this head to knee pose. Relax the head to the knee. Few breaths. And then lengthen the spine, reach the fingers, bring yourself back up, and then collect the leg, lifting it up in towards the chest. Nice long spine. Try not to sit back here. Keep lifting. Again, you can use the strap or you can take hold of the foot and extend the leg up towards the sky. Draw the leg towards the chest, chest towards the leg. Lovely. Relax the shoulders. Good. If it's too much here, you can always bend the knee. Rather, you keep the thigh in towards the chest if the leg doesn't have to be straight. See if you can let go of the leg. See if it stays there. Ah. And then release. Ah. Lift the knee, change sides. So, pressing that knee out, trying to release into that hip just a little. And then keeping that leg where it is, squaring off to the front leg. Inhale, arms up. Nice flat back. Reaching, reaching, reaching way past the toes. Exhale, draw the right shoulder down this time. Head comes down to the knee and you take a few deep breaths to relax. Nice and slowly stretch the fingers past the feet, lengthen the spine, bring yourself up to seated. And this time you gather the knee. So really draw the knee in towards the armpit if you can. Take the hands, maybe they interlace underneath the sole. And you can start to extend. So even here is a great place to be because the spine is nice and long. And lift the chest, drop the shoulders. Maybe the leg straightens. You want to draw the thigh in towards the chest. You want to draw the chest in towards the thigh. Keep resting on those sit bones and then letting go of that leg. See if it stays there. Oh, that's tough into the quads. I know. And it's dropping. And release the leg. Lift the knee together. Hands come underneath. Belly over thighs. Relax the head down. Swing the legs around behind you. Come into tabletop. Find a nice cat and cow here just to release the spine. Because with all that hip stretching, you need to just make sure the spine is mobile. Then take a wide leg child's pose. Toes come together. Knees go wide. Give yourself all of the room for that belly to come between the thighs. Head can come on the hands or arms reach out in front. Breathe through the back body here. Relax the face. And nice and slowly lifting it back up into tabletop. Right foot comes forward. Deep, deep, stretchy lizards. Widen the foot if you like. Sending the knee out to the side, dropping hips down. Then you can give yourself that little wiggle movement left to right, and you can come down onto the forearms, onto blocks. You should feel really, really, because ordinarily we do like a lizard very, very early on in the practice. So hopefully now at this point of the practice in the lizard, you'll feel a little bit warmer, maybe getting deeper into that posture. Choosing options onto the forearms, tucking the back toe, coming up, straightening through the leg, rocking forwards and back. So from here, if you have lifted the leg, I want you to lower the knee down, hands come down, left palm places over in the left corner. You're going to transition onto the outer edge of your back foot, dropping the hip, lifting up, sweeping the ceiling. Dropping hip, reaching back to foot, and lifting up and over. Twice more. Dropping hip. It's going to deep into that front knee and the inner groin. And release. Careful transition. Dropping knee, turning onto the knee, turning onto the toe, back into that lizard. Good. And then release back. Wide leg child's pose, belly chest relaxes to the mat. Come up into tabletop, left leg comes forward. Again, turning those toes out, sending that knee over the middle toe, making sure that it's forward enough so that you've got that nice 90 degree, dropping hips down, choosing the options as you had on the left. So maybe coming down onto the forearms. Should feel really nice and open into those hips and hamstrings here. And then choosing to tuck that back toe, lifting up the leg, rocking forwards and backwards. It just gives you that extra hip flexor and leg stretch. And then transitioning lower down, you turn to your right hand, top corner, and you want to flex the foot. So you're on the outer edge of your back foot, toes are facing forward, dropping the hip, lifting hip, raising arm above the head, dropping hip, deep, deep, deep stretch there, and lifting up. Last time, dropping hip, beautiful. And stretch and hold, pushing through that left foot, or maybe it's on the outer edge. So the front left foot, you're really opening up through that left knee and you're on the outer edge of that foot as well. And then carefully transition, hands come down, knee comes down, turning back. You're into that lizard, high lizard there. And then sending the leg back, releasing into your child's pose, wide leg. So we're going to come sideways onto our mat for our frogs. Raising up, padding out the knees if you need. As I said, there was a bit of knee work today. Sliding out. Flexing into the ankles. And just pushing forward and back. You know, that point of resistance that you start to feel. Try and hold where that point of resistance is, or just before it, so that you can go deeper into Mandukasana, frog pose. Dropping body weight down. Just notice if you're dropping the belly. Notice if you're arching through the spine, or is the spine long? Are you lifting the belly? What happens when you do that to the hips? You know, everything has a connection. So if you drop the head, the spine is compromised, or the shoulders round, or the shoulders cave. Where do you need to be to get the full effect of the posture? And nice and slowly, just rock forward, bring the toes together, and then press yourself back. Just stay there for a moment. Really nice wide legs, child pose, just pushing the hips back towards the heels, inner groin stretch, and then start to walk the hands back. Press through the hands to lift the knees into kneeling, and take a rest. Breathe out, just be aware of what's going on. Good work. Got a couple more seated postures. So spinning around once more, right leg comes to right wrist, pigeon pose. If sleeping pigeon isn't, a prone pigeon is not for you, you can do this reclined, lengthening that left leg back. So you've got a light flexion within that right foot. You're drawing the left hip downwards towards the right heel, and then you can come down onto the forearms, or resting the head on a block or the hands. So don't go too deep into the posture, because we're here for a few breaths. So we want to work you up towards the peak pose. Let go, surrender to the posture. Try to release the tightness in that right glute and piriformis. Nice and slowly lift the head, walk the hands back, come up into your king pigeon, dropping hips. You've got a back bend here, so really draw the abdomen in, and maybe you take hold of your back leg and drop the hips. Hand can stay down onto the mat, or you might release the hand into the balance. Drop that left hip towards the heel. Nice and slowly release. And take it back into a downward facing dog. So press into the hands, tuck the back toe, lift the knee, and then just sweep the leg up to release. Through the hip. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle out, figure of eights, and then release into your down dog. Now feel how flexible your down dog should feel. Releasing heels, pressing chest back towards the thighs. Hamstrings should feel really nice and long and open. Then looking forward, left knee comes to left wrist. Pigeon on the opposite side. Extending that right leg back. And then folding forward when you're ready. Drawing the right hip down towards the left heel. Exhaling, letting go of tension. And hands come underneath you. Press you back up. Preparing to come into King Pigeon. Maybe you stay here. You've got a back bend going on, so really draw the belly in, protect the lower spine. Maybe the hand comes back around to take hold of the foot, dropping that right hip flexor down. Maybe you can find the balance. Some people can take their hand, I cannot, back to this foot. It's never really ever got there because I got that compromised back. Yes. And release, tuck the back toe, hands come down, prepare to push up into that three-legged dog, just wiggle out. Release the hip and then release the foot. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice deep release of the heels to stretch the back of the legs. And then releasing the knees. Let's take the arms back behind us, palms face up, child's pose as you rest the head down. Slowly rolling up through the spine, come into kneeling. And we're going to come into hero pose. So I'm going to use hero with a bolster behind me. So hero, get the knees together, facing forward, roll the calves out, and then just press the feet a little bit into the mat. And everybody's hero is different. So if you need to, you can just come back onto a bolster or a block or onto your elbows. Try to keep the knees long. Trying to find some nice comfort here. Taking time to come out of the posture when you are ready. Releasing the hands down, just making sure that you lift the head and the neck to look along the body. And then pressing into the elbows, bringing yourself back up. And you can just take a seat. And then swing the legs around in front of you to roll down onto your backs. Drawing the knees in, rolling, massaging out through the spine. So a lot of that work today targets the spine because, you know, we've got the back bends in the hero and also the king pigeon. You're using the spine in the reverse warriors. So there's a lot of back bend stuff there. So to really try and relax the spine now, relax the hips. Placing the soles of the feet down, just pelvic tilt. So you lift up into bridge. Rolling up, sending the knees forward. Slowly roll down through shoulders, upper, middle, lower back. Left leg stays bent, right leg comes into half happy baby. So you're going to open up the knee to the rib cage, take hold of the right foot, and then flex the ankle, and you've got 90-degree bend into the back of the knee. Really draw down the left hip here, and that left leg might be straight or it might be open. So whatever feels good there, you're in a half happy baby. So just drawing down the thigh, it's away from the rib cage, it's away from the side of the body. And I want you to start to think about extending from the back of the knee, and think about extending those toes up to the top corner of your room. So you're in an extension of that right leg. Few breaths, breathing deep into that stretch. Nice and slowly, bend at the knee, bring it back into half happy baby. We're going to do that twice more. So I want you to think, extend from the knee so the thigh tries to stay exactly where it is. Think about extending the toes and the top part of the leg. So you're not going out to the side and you're not going up to the head. It's the top corner of your mat. Bend at the knee, nice and slowly. Flexion into that right ankle, half happy baby. Last time, extend. Try not to pop through the back of the knee. Holding for a few breaths. Try to relax through the contractions of the muscles. Bend at the knee. Release the heel to the buttock. And then extend both legs all the way along the mat into your Shavasana. Notice how that right leg now feels. So ordinarily, we've got 3 stretches. We've got this stretch, we've got this stretch, which is out to the side, but we're here. So we're kind of coming up to the top corner of the mat. Let's try with the other leg. Draw both knees in, roll and massage out. It's a deep, deep inner groin, inner thigh and hamstring stretch. Circle the hips a little bit. Release into the joints. So left leg stays in, half happy baby, flexion through the foot, drawing the thigh downwards, and then place the right leg either straight, knee up towards the sky, or open, whatever feels good. Keep drawing that thigh down, and then exhale, start to extend the leg from the knee. Bend at the knee, bring it back in. And then extend. Great. Deep and stretchy. And then bend. And repetition always helps to get deeper flexibility from movement as well. Last time, extend and stay. 3 or 4 breaths, slow, long, deep breaths. Try to relax the contraction and all of those leg muscles. This leg not so stretchy. And then bend at the knee, bring the heel towards the buttock and extend both legs slowly into Shavasana. Hopefully the left now feels like the right. Relax through the hips and pelvis and spine. Going to take that into a full happy baby. Draw knees in, roll and massage out. Take the knees wide, flexion through the feet, take hold of the feet, roll from side to side. Give yourself a smile at this point, because we're going to extend those both feet together towards the top corner of our mat with our spine lengthened down to the mat. Our tailbone is pulling downwards and we're extending from the knee and releasing through the back of the legs. Nice. So we're not going out to the side. We're taking those toes up towards the top corner and the spine is lengthened. So this was where you were in your forward folds, your wide-legged forward folds. You're pulling your chest towards the legs and the legs towards the floor. Great one to practice if you like, Titibhasana or firefly pose. Nice and slowly bend at the knee. Release the heels to the buttocks and release to the feet, wide, rest pose, knees drop together. Heel toe the feet in. Last postures coming up. Arms go wide and then just rock the knees over. So windscreen wiper on the left arm. Releasing through hips, pelvis, spine. And finding a comfortable place. Warm. Popping socks, jumpers on if you need. Using a bolster underneath the knees. Coming into your final relaxation in Shavasana. Arms out to the side. Make sure you've got enough space around you that you're not touching anything at all apart from your mat or your carpet. Slow everything down now and feel how open and long and stretched you might be in the legs, the spine, the hip opening. Steady and slow breaths, releasing and letting go of any remaining tightness and tension. And I will give you these few precious minutes for yourself of silence. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths. Coming out of your relaxation, coming back into your surroundings on the mat and into the body by bringing movement to the hands, to the feet. Just rolling the head from side to side, releasing the neck. And stretching the arms up above the head. Again, that nice long stretch, stretch, stretch. Point the toes. Draw the knees in, roll and massage out. Take your time to roll over to one side and just gently bring yourself up to a comfortable butterfly, finding that symmetry in the pelvis, sitting nice and tall, hands come into the heart center. And just take note of how you feel after practice and any intention that you set for yourself, how you can take that intention into your day, the rest of the week ahead. And remembering to give yourself thanks to your body, to your breath, and to your energy for practice. And I thank you. Namaste.